Time now for the exchange. Scott Anderson is the director of UNRWA Affairs in Gaza, and he joins us now from there. Scott, I hope you can hear me, and I see you there now. I really want to thank you for being here. Given all that is going on in Lebanon and beyond, you know, the lack of focus may lead some to assume that maybe the situation in Gaza has improved. Can you set us straight on that? What have the last few weeks been like there?
Yeah, unfortunately, the situation has not improved at all. In fact, to the contrary, the situation continues to worsen. You highlighted all the deaths I heard in your intro over the past week. And what we've really seen the last few weeks is an increase in activity here in Gaza, not a decrease. We continue to face constraints in getting aid in. In August, 1 million people did not receive food. In September, that number climbed to 1.4 million. At a time when children should be in school, they're not. This will be the second school year in a row that they have missed the opportunity to learn. And the health situation continues to worsen, despite the fact we were able to implement a successful first round of the polio campaign. So the biggest concern amongst all that is we are headed to winter. It'll be the second winter now of this conflict. And the resilience people have built up over that time is just not gonna be there. And we're very concerned about disease and cold and everybody not having enough to eat.
And that is a very stark outlook indeed. I know in the months this has gone on, nearly a year now of conflict, that there have been challenges, controversies about aid getting in. There have been warnings about famine. Can you let us know exactly what the situation is on the ground, given things that are basic, like clean water, hygiene, food? Is more aid getting into Gaza?
No, unfortunately not. And it really started back in May when the offensive in Rafah began. And ever since then, the ability of the international humanitarian community to bring aid in at scale has been very much challenged. There's no police to speak of in Gaza to help make sure that there's an enabling law and order environment. And in Rafah in particular, what we're seeing is basically organized crime that's preventing aid from getting to people that are very much in need. So all the constraints that we faced have led us to the situation where we're in now, where people aren't getting enough to eat, and there's not enough clean water, there's not enough medicine, and it's very difficult for everyone every day. And the things that we all very much take for granted, like water and food and medicine, they're just not here for people. In addition to that, everybody's still living in tents or makeshift plastic structures, and it's going to start raining. As I said, winter's coming. In the Mawasi area, where we have about 1.4 million people, we're pretty sure some of them have built their tents in areas that will flood, which will create another challenge. So it's just incredibly dire circumstances that people face every day, and they're just struggling, trying to survive every day.
What do you think when you see everything that's going on in Gaza, and yet there has been less focus on it by many, surely not your organization, but certainly donors, there has been some donor fatigue. What do you think now when you see what's going on in Lebanon, and to have the people of Lebanon thinking to themselves, we're fearful that we will become the next Gaza?
Yeah, I mean, I think firstly, one thing I would say is we're seeing great reporting from Lebanon. Unfortunately, we don't see that in Gaza. There has not been international media here since the conflict began. That's something that we would call for and hope that media can come here and tell the story of what's happening on the ground. But our concern is, as you mentioned, there is a possibility of donor fatigue. Needs are growing across the region. My focus is here in Gaza, and what we're going to see is the needs are going to continue to increase the longer the conflict goes on. So we're very concerned that we have 2 million people here trapped in this horrible conflict, and there's not going to be funding and supplies provided to make sure that their very basic needs, such as food, water, and shelter, are met every day.
Yeah, and as you said, the winter can be incredibly miserable. When you think it's the second one, well, many families will be under tents. Scott Anderson for us in Gaza. Glad to check in with you. Appreciate it.